Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the ECA MDL. I'm joined by Scriv, and we're going to be going into our final match of tonight. It's going to be Epsilon facing off against 141337114, previously called Rev Reserve. Obviously, they've gone for a much easier name to say, thankfully. That's fantastic. Of course, I think they're called 14 question mark on the server. But yeah, an interesting mix of players. A team that's definitely going to be more on the pug style of things. But then again, I would say similar things about their opponents. So I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. But ultimately, I think 141337114 are probably going to be the ones taking the victory.
Yeah, they kind of have like the stronger lineup overall and maybe similar play styles, but yeah, I think the names on this team, HS, Scream especially coming in here, Draken has been kind of up and down. We've seen some great stuff from him, but also some questionable things. But again, a team I've seen a little bit more of recently. I think this Grux kid's also pretty good. I mean, I don't know if he is young, but I think he's pretty decent. Been pulling off some nice rounds here and there. So we'll see. They definitely do have potential. Whereas Epsilon one that, for a while now, have not had a stable lineup. So we'll see where this one goes. Could be really interesting from both sides, and that is not the best of starts. Grux was entirely flashed up. Keto going to easily get taken down there. Crooks in with a second as he is just ripping apart this B-site defense right now. This was meant to be the distraction play. The bomb's going up long, by the way, towards A, and it's worked off perfectly. They're going to get this plant in an aggressive position, and only Surreal and Crucial to try and pull the round back in favor of the CT side. It's just not going to happen because here comes Hampus to clean them both up. And a very decisive pistol comes through from, I guess we'll go at 14, Leap 14, maybe. Or do you want to go with like X-Red Reserve? Or, I don't know.
Just 14.
Just 14. All right, fair enough.
Yeah. I used to be Tombiz 14, so, you know, I can get behind the number. But, we're going to be seeing the T-side get themselves the pistol win, and now go into this one. Actually with 4 AKs. A little bit of a gamble from the CT side into middle. Unfortunately, the T's all looking to head in towards B, so the likelihood is this will be a fairly standard and easy round coming out from the T side.
I don't know if you caught that, but there was a wee bit of a team nade. That's where HS has taken that damage. Draken just threw a nade like right at his backside. I think he was trying to get it through his legs or something. But either way, Keto going to find the first as HS tries to find some eco frags. Unfortunately, not able to do so. And it's going to be a recovered AK. This is kind of one of the dangers with picking up so many AKs early on. If you lose them, suddenly you've given quite a strong advantage, in fact, over towards your opponents there. So hopefully they don't lose any more. I think they're now going to go on the hunt, in fact, for said AK and lose even more players. So they will ultimately win the round. It's so much damage that Epsilon have done here after spending no money at all.
Oh, yeah, they managed to steal themselves a couple of AKs. And that is obviously the risk of not going too heavily into the SMGs, is you risk giving away a lot more. And actually going into this round, there's a high chance that the T's might actually come up with a slightly better buy. Obviously, Hampus didn't actually purchase too much into the last round, so he may be able to drop an AWP for Draken if he so desires it. But in fact, it's just going to stick with the standard AKs, and well, now we get to see whether or not Epsilon can actually play off the back. I do love how it just says British. That is perfect for me. They do only have one Brit on their side, and I'm watching him right now. That'll be surreal. But yeah, interested to see if the small bit of Britain can do some damage in this game. Of course, still favoring 14 quite heavily, but be interested to see how good they're actually going to be with obviously the limited practice.
Well, I want to say, let me just double check it. I mean, he's not too far ahead, but before coming on, I just kind of checked the standings and things, and I think he is one of the highest. Surreal is one of the highest rated players in the league at the moment. Still kind of early days, but still, it's kind of cool for him to be up there. Crucial though, unfortunately, going to fall to Scream, who I would imagine is very quickly going to make his way up the standings in terms of being one of the stronger players. Very, very scary indeed to face off against the likes of Scream, but takes a lot of damage. It's certainly recoverable here for the CT side, especially with so many gaps in these smokes. Grook's not expecting
There's no one on A.
off there. Oh,
There's
yes.
no one there.
Oh, man,
It's a 4B stack. There's just a little bit of a bait coming out from the T's pushing onto that B site, and they have a free bomb plant, and they're in a 4 versus 4. So, yeah, the CT side, they've got no utility to retake this one. So you almost have to wonder if this might be a save situation. They're still looking to try and find some sort of challenge back in, but with the Molotov falling in towards the bank, they're forced into a save. So, yeah, a heavy gamble coming out from Epsilon, and it does not pay off at all.
Yeah, going to cost them pretty heavily. Don't know. I suppose it's one of those things. Maybe they've done a bit of homework, or just kind of a bit of a miscall. Especially with all those smokes being around and spotting the one player in an advanced position. That's exactly what 14 were going for at that point, was to bait out the B rotations. And it works out perfectly for them, unfortunately, for Epsilon. So they don't lose too many players. They'll easily be able to buy back up here, but obviously going down 3 rounds early on is not really great. And it gives a good amount of momentum across to the European mix. Again, you look at the flag, and I really wanted to say Swedes, but either way, aggression coming towards short here. Hold the thought, as Keto will find the first off the back of a flashbang. Very well done so, and it's an early advantage. Again, it is an aggressive B stack from Epsilon, and it looks to be working out. There are a few trades coming back from the T's now, though, to bring it back into contention. We're only about 30 seconds into the round here, and it's already a 3 versus 3. The bomb has yet to be planted, and it's kind of control of half of the site for the CTs, control the other half for the T's. It's so all over the place right now. 14 will look to make their way in slowly. Spellan gets taken down easily by Draken. Brocky as well, managing to survive. It's a 2 versus 1 though in favor of the T's, and Crucial has got a task on his hands for sure.
Yeah, this is not the position you want to have your AWP. He's still got quite a lot of utility though, but the problem is he just doesn't want to give away this remaining spot. HS up close, but I'm more going to be worried about the push through the smoke. Yeah, Crucial, surely. Did they crossed each other? HS is now in his position. Crucial's gone past. That is a fantastic way to end the round, but not so much for Crucial. 4-0 in favor of 14. And, well, the CTs will still have the finances to buy back into this one. Crucial will get another AWP, but they want to try and get themselves around onto the board.
Few flashes and Molotovs to go in towards B to try and stave off some early aggression. It's kind of be a short, or anti-short, I should say, little setup there. So take note if you are perhaps a budding pro player. Nonetheless, it's looking like a relatively slow round once again. They might just meet each other in the bathroom, so it's Epsilon going for that heavy short side play. The bait setup here, crucial to open up, and Spellen's watching the doorway to make sure that no one can come through from a trade, or at least trade his teammate. That's kind of the plan, but it's an opening pick for Epsilon, and that's certainly what they need, being 4 rounds down already. Here comes another pick. That is so fast from Crucial. Wow. It's a close flick, but it's a really nice one. 5-on-3. As the T's, the first time in this game so far, are going to have themselves tested. They need to figure out a way back into the round. Spellan to find another. I think that pretty much is just going to end it here. The bomb can get dropped. All down to Hampus in a 1 versus 5. The best he can hope for is to do some damage. And he just pick up 2 quick kills. But he's got 3 more to find.
Oh, I like the idea. He was going to try and bait the peek from Spellan, but unfortunately Spellan peeked before. It was like a preemptive fish jumping out of the water. So didn't really expect it. And yeah, that's going to be 4-1. Onto the board, however, We still have a buy coming in from the T's. They'll be able to get pretty much everything they want. Scream, of course, not really needing utility as he is the headshot machine. And on the other side of things, well, this is where Epsilon really need to get themselves off the mark. The loss bonus is gone. And all they have to play with is either, well, the money they get from winning or the $1,400 they get from losing the round.
Again, going to go for those basic Molotovs and whatnot towards B. HS apparently not really feeling the further out Molotov. You kind of have to be running to get that one and get the lineup pretty much perfect. It's quite easy to get wrong, I suppose. So he's going to go for the simple one, and that's okay. Clears the position out at least for now. And they will ultimately, by the looks of things, be hoping to go B. Surreal and Brocky up close and personal. Maybe one flash could ruin their day, but it would have to be perfect. Another smoke to come in. Similar to, I feel like, an Inferno in a sense. Smokes in Monster can really just slow you way, way down. And if they're timed well, can really screw you over. Another one going to come through. The flash will follow up, but no one wants to push off of it on the T side. Oh, surreal. Clean double dink comes through. C will manage to find the first kill for his side. HS does trade one back, but very low HP. The Molotov could finish him off here if it reaches. It doesn't. Things not looking good for the team. 15 seconds left. They have to get aggressive. Rocky and Surreal will clean up. Is Draken the only one left, but there's no way he has any time at all. It's going to be another round for Epsilon.
Yeah, it definitely seems like once Epsilon have got that extra utility in hand, they've played much better in the last few rounds. Draken just going to be opting to try and save this AWP, and well, the rest of his team can't really force around it. The fact is, though, there may be a temptation just based off him not being able to have too much money going into the next, but definitely understandable that they'll want to wait to make sure they have all the added rifles into the next round, and just buying up a couple of flashbangs to try and set up that AWP. Give this man a chance to sort of flash his biceps a little bit and try and carry this team through the round.
Oh, creeping in. The train. Flash to follow up. Might just be able to find something, but Rocky in a passive position. He'll allow them to move in and maybe get the bomb plant. Can't deny it. So that's not too bad. Grook's going to find the head of one. Any more damage here is a bonus, really, and they're playing very well off of each other. Draken has still got this AWP in play. It's actually been brought back into contention. Great headshot found by Grooks as he picks up his third. It's all onto Crucial. The unarmored opponent's not really going to matter. He has to hit the shots, and he is just not feeling it right now. Misses a couple in a row. I'm probably going to look to just exit now. Finds the hard shot, apparently. But unfortunately, there's no real way back in here. And 14 will manage to take a round off the back of, well, pretty much an eco. I mean, that was a saved AWP that comes through, and Grook's going to get his hands onto an AK. A perfect result, pretty much, for the European mix there.
Yeah, no, that is very unfortunate indeed. And the fact that Grux was able to do so much with so little has brought them around that never should have been. And, well, realistically now, the money has been crushed at a different point. Epsilon now having to try and do the same thing. Spallan will at least be handed a rifle, and Crucial will have his trusty AWP, but realistically, this is a big ask for them. They're going to go very aggressive. Short control completely taken, making a bit of a play into the connector as well, though the smokes will force Spallan off of that spot. But with the amount of control that they currently have, they can somewhat gamble players back towards this A site a little bit. However, with 14 taking such a passive early spot, not really taking any risks. It's hard for the CTs to take too much of a gamble in this scenario because the Ts haven't shown them any information yet.
Well, again, they're going to go for this slow move in towards B. Seemed to work out last time. Great find by Scream on the angle. course, he's going to check them all. He wants those headshots. That's what he is known for. And that's pretty much going to open up the B-bomb site. I think that might just spell the end of the round. They may as well just save what they got going into the next one, and that's immediately what they're going to do. So it'll be a 6 there on the T side for 14, as they look really, really good in the past few rounds. A bit of a blip, but for the most part, this is certainly the ball in their court. And they're performing very, very well at the moment on Overpass, and just, yeah, working so well together as a team, relying a little bit on those individuals. Again, the raw firepower deal is going to come into play here, as there's certainly a couple over on the Epsilon side that are lacking a bit, and the team play not quite going to be there for them yet either. So it is pretty much firepower versus firepower, and to see who comes out on top. I think, like you said at the start of the game, this is pretty much with the names that they have over on 14 at the moment. It's going to be. It would need someone to really, really step things up on the Epsilon side.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like the Epsilon side is basically the more budget version of the Swede side. Oh, not the Swede side, but you know what I mean. It's like if you tried to do the same that they've done with less money, I think that's the roster you'd probably end up with. Like Epsilon, obviously a decent Bulgarian player. Surreal obviously had stints over in America. You've got Ketos, they've definitely been playing well in the past. Crucial, who's been an AWPer that's actually fairly decent as well. But you look at the other side, you've got Draken, obviously used to be around in a like NIP, then it fell off quite a bit. Scream, obviously a player who's been around the French scene for many years, known as the headshot machine. Hampus as well, a fantastic Swedish player. HS, who made that run in Penta at the major. Like, there's been so much more to come from the other side, and obviously something must come of Grux as well if he's been brought in with all of these sort of well-renowned players. But yeah, it's going to be a difficult game to win for sure. But yeah, the one thing they have is that they're probably more established as a roster themselves, so maybe they can pull something a little bit off. And well, at least with the aggressive pushes they're pulling out, the calls that are being made, they have been able to do some damage early on.
You kind of have that mentality coming into a round like this where you can play a bit looser, you can play a bit more aggressive, and the risk associated is not quite as high. And sometimes that gives some players, you know, the freedom to do what they want, and with less pressure on their shoulders, they actually perform a bit better. Meanwhile, but while I've been talking, we've got Spellan coming in behind here. He will manage to take down Draken. Keto as well, going to find the head of Scream. And suddenly it's all falling apart. It's all going to be down to Hampus. Not a fighting chance right now for 14. And this is kind of the issue when you have that very puggy style of play. It can sometimes fail you. You can get very easily caught off guard. And as soon as something kind of goes wrong, you don't really have that fail-safe, that clear-cut plan of how do we come back from this. Their instinctive reaction, which is what they're working on, is to just try and fight back, and that doesn't always work out.
Well, even still, the damage to the economy is not enough. However, the CTs have managed to build up a bit of their own, giving them a little bit of a chance. We are going to have, again, some aggression onto shore. This seems to be the main strat in the Book of Epsilon at the moment. HS is trying to hide around in the smoke, and he may be able to hit the timing perfectly as he sprays down two. Crucial and Surreal go down. There's one more man on the site. HS has absolutely no idea, so at least Brocky will be able to get one, in fact two, along those lines. And now the T's are going to have to calm down a little bit. Running into that site seems like the wrong play to make. You have Grux waiting to hold off rotations, but that only works if you actually have the site. Fear he may have to be the one to make a bit more of a play in this round and realize there's nobody around, at least around short. And Spellan has made his way back onto the A site. This timing from Brocky will actually give them a little bit of information. And this is going to leave Spellan with a lot to do and an AWP in hand.
Oh. Rotation starting to come through. Brocky, great position. Manages to find... Oh, both of them. That is so good from him. The 4K coming through as he has come alive in this round. Hampus now, not the one we expect to see on the AWP, but certainly could be capable. Creeps in and Spellan gets the information at the very last second. The flick doesn't quite land. The Deagle is out and the pressure is on. Hampus going to creep round to the right side but can't find the shot. And the ace comes through. Bocky saving the round for Epsilon. Gets a fourth for his team. And suddenly they are once again back in with a fighting chance. It's been very close in some of these rounds. And 14 probably going to find themselves on, at best, a half bye.
Yeah, that was a complete mess. Having yourself a 5 versus 2 and one player being able to put every single one of your players down without even really taking much damage. It's a big mistake. And now, while the T's are going to go running in towards that connector, trying desperately to get some close range battles. But the CT side, again, as said, when they have their utility, they seem to gather up a bit of an advantage over this mixed side. Scream definitely hasn't had the game of his life so far. I always enjoyed watching the sort of old G2 with him in it on this very map, as he was very aggressive, able to find those openings on the B site quite often, but thus far it definitely hasn't been the case. Grux will at least be able to manage one with the Deeg, but still plenty more needed from this side if they're going to be able to do anything else. And this is a bit of a risky peek from Scream. He does have the bomb in his hand, so doesn't want to take too much of an overface in this scenario.
Yeah, they've not done too much damage here. Sometimes there's not all that much you can do against Eagles. Just kind of clap your head off, you know, and just kind of have to deal with it. And hope that it doesn't get out of hand, you know. So, yeah, it's kind of damage control at the moment from Epsilon. Meanwhile, the bomb going to move back towards the B-bomb site. Slowly but surely, they love to go for this as they creep out Monster. Brocky might just be in for a surprise, but he does seem to be prepared for it. They have gained so much control here, though. This is maybe a bit of a mistake, as Grux also takes down Surreal. They now have a man advantage. Sure, they don't have armor or anything, or any utility, but they could just work off of the numbers, and they've got plenty of time to get themselves into some decent after-plant positions. Epsilon now in with a hard retake.
HS as well has made things even worse. Very low HP, and he's just tagging them down further and further. Switches to the CZ, but doesn't manage to finish off one. His teammate will, though, and Scream with the headshot will close out this round. Grux with pistols just seems to be ludicrous. Like, in these sort of rounds, in these rounds where they have no right to pull off a win, he's the man that steps up almost every single time. And well, there's a reason he's top of the board by quite a margin at the moment over on his side. But either way, Epsilon, they need to get better anti-eco rounds. Like, the amount of rounds that they've now reset 1-4, 1-3, 3-7, 1-4, and not managed to take it through is atrocious.
Yeah, pretty much. It seems Grux at the moment is in this position where he's sort of a dog on a leash, and as soon as they're in a round that's a little bit looser, where they can take the risks, they let him off it, and he just tears things up. Now it's Epsilon to find themselves with a weak buy, a few pistols, a scout, and an AWP. We'll have to see here. It's an interesting turn of affairs, that is for sure, but crazier things seem to have happened. This is what sort of goes on when there are puggy types of teams coming through. HS will find the first kill, cost him a fair chunk of HP, the scout. Spellan going to take him down also. Now the hit going to come through on towards the A sites. So far, a hell of a lot of damage has actually been done onto the T side here, and it's been kept even by the CTs. Not the best of flashes, though, to come through, and they will manage the trades. Rocky, though, coming alive once again, brings it back into the 1 versus 1 somehow. It's Scream, who's kind of low HP, gets taken down even lower. And just a couple more shots to land. That's all that Brocky requires. He's going to move in through the bank and maybe get his hands onto a rifle. That might just spell victory for him. Not quite enough room. Scream going to escape and take the headshot angle. Passive. And of course he lands it. I mean, of course he does. The headshot machine. Who else?
Well, those are the sort of rounds you need him to step up, and those are the sort of rounds that he does. 8-4. The Mix has got themselves not only the lead, but the reset onto Epsilon. This should be the chance for them to really build up that extra cash, and well, HS is looking to try and take full advantage of that. Same sort of stack we saw in middle once again. Didn't get spotted out last time, so understandable that they'll give this one a go. And if you remember correctly, they managed to get 2 AKs last time this was tried. However, it didn't get anywhere near winning the round, and you can see the T's have walked right in towards the B site once again. Hampus is just going to be holding for anybody looking to try and rotate. And this time it should be much cleaner. Now, the only man I really want to be seeing hunting for these lovely $600 players is going to be the man holding the $600 gun, and that is going to be HS.
Ooh. Kind of like the Jaws music needs to come through here, I think, at the moment. You're watching that mini-map, especially as they're all going to start creeping in. They will walk past Hampus, though, and he does manage to get the double spray down. He's not ready for the shots in from behind, though. That's where he falls. He only thought that there was 3 of them. There was, in fact, all 5. I think the T side are going to clean this up easily enough. And deny any saved rifles, but still, it's good fun to see, and they do manage, you know, take away the 1 rifle for nothing spent. Always good, you know, a huge return on investment. But now kind of comes a bit of a make or break. I think if this round does go the way of 14, then we will see Epsilon stomaching a pretty harsh loss on their CT side, to be honest.
Once again, we're going to see some aggression coming out from the CTs. Keto will be able to find one. Now, will they expect Spalan to be around this corner? It doesn't matter. Keto's done the work. He's found the early double, and this allows for the further aggression of this side. Another comes in with Rocky as well, and well, although it's taken them a while, they finally get themselves a much cleaner situation. 9-5. The T's will be able to pick up a bye into this last round of the half anyway. But even still, that's much better signs for the CT side. The problem is that sort of regression, it's the kind of thing that doesn't work too many times in a row.
Yeah, very true. So we'll see whether they can keep things consistent, whether they can deny the double digits. Oh, but with Draken coming in, the clean shot like that, there's not much you can do. Crucial, not very comfortable with going over the smoke, it would seem, and an easy pickup for Draken as he changed angles. Smart play, effective play. Tito will manage to pull one back for the CT side, but that looks like it's all they're going to get, to be honest. Surreal is here on B, but 4 players coming his way. It's not looking good. He will get taken down. It's a 10-5 half, so pretty dominant stuff from 14 coming through. As ultimately, you know, Epsilon, again, similar to the previous game, struggling with consistency there on their CT side.
Well, they're going to have to try and turn things around on the T. Obviously, being more of a sort of mixed roster, that can actually work out for you, because obviously if you have a strong caller within the team, you can sort of, I suppose, guide the remaining players around. The problem is, what I would always remember, at least from teams that had the likes of Scream on it, like take back to like the old rosters they had within G2, where he was just able to manhandle a site on his own. Like, you could leave him in positions and he will just hold the angles, and he's not going to miss those reaction timing shots. So I think there's a lot of players over on the CT side right now which are going to be hard to clear. Like, you're going to have to work very well as a team. I will say so far, Epsilon have been good at pushing together, and their utility usage has been on point. So if that comes into play, which it is in our pistol round at least, they got 2 Molotovs, I'm hoping that they can at least make this one a bit more competitive.
It would be nice. It would be nice, to be fair. We've had a few. We had a really close first game, and then second one not so much. This one not so much so far. HS going to get ahead of this smoke though, and maybe he doesn't want so much of a competitive game. Early pick comes through, not traded. They will gain control of the B-bomb site, but it's the kills that don't seem to be as yet going their way. Clean find from Crucial. he's also going to discover that there's no one else really around. So they've changed things up. They've gotten control of a slightly different area, but still not got control of the man advantage. It's a 4-on-2. Crucial going to have to go huge with this UFG, I feel, and he is looking to do so as he finds 4. My goodness, 3 very quick kills in very quick succession. Scream hoping that someone's going to peek into him as he has tapped the bomb. He will do so again, but Crucial is hungry for this ace. But more importantly, he's hungry for the win. Not getting too overzealous with the peaks. It's going to be so hard for Scream. Not enough time. They will face him, and eventually he goes down. So Epsilon come in with that second half pistol, getting the 6th round on the board, and maybe giving themselves a way back in.
I feel like that was just a massive misplay coming out from 14, leaked 14. They had themselves the bomb. They had themselves at least the position of one of the players. And rather than just trying to hold the angles and defuse, they sort of risked it all, just pushing one by one and handing those Jews over to Crucial. At least try and take that play together. Either way, it doesn't work out, and they've given Epsilon a way back into this one. It is going to be a couple of AKs and absolutely nothing brought up for the CT side other than a trusty Zeus. And this is a chance for Brocky to not only pad his stats, but pad his bank account. Get himself a little bit of extra money. That's a bit of a messy duel, which will see Keto hit the deck, but ultimately not going to be anything more. 10-7. Bai will be back in for the CT side. And now this is where we will see Epsilon tested.
Well, this will give us a feel as to how the rest of the half is going to go. Like you say, their first true test coming in. Counter-Strike in 2019, of course. 4 orgs in play, and Scream ever on that A1S, keeping the A1S gang alive, it would seem. And nonetheless, a very quick hit going to come through towards A. It's Scream to open up. Brooks coming in with a quick second. Spellan will find a clean little headshot. It's still a very early man advantage for the CT side here. The disrespectful fast hit towards B not quite working out for Epsilon as yet. They will manage to even things back up, but it's very quickly thrown by the wayside. Spellan as well to be traded. That's the bomb going down. Keto finds himself on 5 HP. Clean headshot. It's Draken. He has to clean this up for his team right here. Playing it perfectly, but Keto, unfortunately, just too low on HP, will get cleaned up. 11-7, but it's a very, very close round. Only just by the skin of their teeth are 14 able to win that one.
Yeah, it's another situation where, again, you sort of see them with an advantage, and I feel like if they just had a bit more synergy, that would have been cleaned up a lot easier. Like, even in the 2v1, the 3v2, whatever, it just seemed like the peaks were very individual. And although that's working for them overall, it's where a better team would pick them apart. And I think that's the problem. They're getting away with it versus Epsilon, but they're coming very, very close to being punished. And, well, now we see thereby not in the best of states. Okay, they're better off slightly, I'd say, in utility, but not by a huge amount. And the T's, they've managed to get AKs on the majority of their players. So this definitely isn't a set round for the team that won the previous. The question is, are they going to have those sort of hero plays once again? Or are we going to see Epsilon pick them apart?
Well, I think this is going to answer your question. Surreal managed to go down, but it's Keto coming in with 3 from behind. That was the fight. That was the moment where we would see how this round is going to go. It's Draken, though, to answer back with 2. It's been a pretty crazy multi-frag filled few moments here, as it will be brought back into a 2 versus 2, and Keto on low HP. It could swing either way as the bomb plant comes in. There's a kit available, but there's no utility across the board. It's going to come down to the fights. Keto, Draken, right beside each other here. Just a wall in between them as Draken will get the jump. Brings it back into a 2-on-1, and Spellan was expecting someone else to come from the CT position. However, they're both in from A short, and I think he is not long for this world. Going to have to shuffle off his mortal coil. He will get taken down by Scream, and again, it's a very close round, but the clutch goes the way of the CTs.
Yeah, this is starting to get ridiculous with how many of these rounds are actually won with just one player surviving. And you can tell that from the T's perspective, this is going to be tempting. You can get Keto an AK-47. He's been doing very well over the last few rounds. You can even drop one over to Spellan, or he could go without head armor. He did it in the previous. and then just juggle them to other players. Make sure that everybody has at least something going into this next and try and break the economy. And that's exactly what they're going to be doing. They're taking the risk. I would say, I think they could have got 3 AKs there. Like, Spallan could have just bought his own and not had head armor. Then either Surreal or Crucial could drop one. A Deagle could be dropped back. And then they'd have the same sort of buy they have now, but instead of a UMP, they have an AK. And it would be on Spallan, who I would say is probably a better player to have it. But anyway, they've got it on the 2 players who've actually been playing very well so far, so at least that's something. CT side buy, not perfect, but pretty damn good. Definitely better than what we're seeing on the other side. The question is, can Epsilon make it work? We've seen so many pistol force rounds, we've seen so many upset rounds throughout this game. Is this going to be the point where 14 just run away with it? Or is it the point where Epsilon look to start their comeback?
Well, I think it's a question of where this utility goes and how it's used on that T side especially. So far they have short control. They've got 4 players there. So this monster push could actually be very influential. Crucial is left to hold it down. He cannot do so. Scream readjusts, but not quite ready for the second. No way Grux expects more, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's like, Brookie, excuse me, I'm watching this other angle. Do you mind? And he will manage also to find the third. Surreal trades one back, but Draken has already come in from Connector. I mean, they all responding to everybody being packed in, and that's kind of one of the issues. If you cannot make it work, you're in a very tight space. You can just very easily get overwhelmed from all the different angles, and it's a really quick shutdown there from 14. Epsilon now going to have to pretty much solidly eco. I suppose a few Deagles, it's not too bad in terms of what they've spent, but we're getting ever closer to the end of the game. It's one of those moments where damage and bomb plants and things like that not quite good enough. They need to be picking up rounds right now on the 14 side of things, because the game is on the Epsilon side of things, because the game is fully in control of 14 elite 14. Draken once again to open up, and I don't really see this happening for Epsilon here.
Yeah, Keto's actually managed to get some Kevlar alongside this rifle though, so maybe there's an opportunity, especially if they keep facing off against him. He hasn't really taken much damage. Gruk's going to be up close, and he goes with the Deeg, but won't be able to manage anything. Spallan had nothing, and it will be 14-7, and this is the quote-unquote last-ditch effort. They do, of course, have another round to play with, and if they get a bomb down, maybe they can get another buy, but this is where we'll definitely see everything that they desire, or the AKs. No AWP, but I definitely think you can live without it on the T side of Overpass. Hampus, however, will be the one to bring it in on the CT side now. He's always been in that sort of secondary upper role in a lot of teams. Definitely a man who can wield this weapon of fury. The question is he going to be able to do anything with it here? Flashed off initially, and a few players have crossed. Now he needs to try and defend off Scream, who's definitely not in the best of states. In fact, it's going to be teammates going down left, right, and center, and the T's, at least for now, out on top. So Hampus going to be spotted, spray through, but Draken's able to trade. Rocky's looking to try and find something through the edge of the smoke, but as of yet won't. It's his teammate from the connector to do the damage. And still we see this man advantage sticking, at least for now, over on the T side.
Yeah, when the backs are against the wall, when the pressure is on, it would seem that they are able to step up to the plate somewhat. Still not sure yet, even in the context of this round, and that is why there's still HS and Hampus been having great games respectively, able to pull things back into contention. The bomb will go down. Hampus is already here. There's a kit available for HS. It's actually a really good setup for Epsilon, though. This is a great 2v2 setup. You need to really cleanly hit your shots here if you're a CT side player. Flash to come in, and Spellan, his back is turned. I think his teammate was blinded up. The AWP's so very awkward, though, and Rocky will get it. Yeah, Hampus. I feel like, judging by your reaction, you were watching him, and he missed the easiest shot of his life. By the sound of things.
I don't know why he no-scoped that. Like, he was literally looking down at him, and rather than just scoping in and killing him like the easiest kill of his life, he tried to no-scope him and missed. Like, I think it was because it was moving, but that's just a big mistake. That was completely unnecessary. And yeah, he could have easily won that round for his team. Moving swiftly on, just for my own sanity's sake. They have still got a buy. Hampus is going to be on a Deagle this time. And I believe if he'd had that in hand in the previous round, he would have got the kill as well.
Yeah. Little things make the biggest differences.
That's what my girlfriend says.
Okay. I was going to use the example of that nade there. Seems like a small little lineup, and it actually does 50 damage. But I appreciate that. I like that. But yeah, either way, it's kind of a good start for Epsilon. It's one of those things that obviously they're not going to know for a while that that damage has been done, but it just keeps adding, keeps poking away at 14 and around like this, where it is a bit of an opportunity for Epsilon to maybe come back if they play their cards right.
Well, Grux again, high impact player, has managed to find himself a double. Still the top fragger in the server at the moment. There's going to be the smokes being thrown in, the bomb on the other side of one as well, which is going to make things very difficult for Epsilon. Just look at the clock. 25 seconds left for them to get in, get the kills, plant the bomb. It just doesn't seem possible. They're going to have to throw in some hero plays. Keto's still standing, or at least was when I started the sentence, as 14 will make it 15, as there is now a big disparity between them financially and their opposition. Epsilon, they have to force, and they have to make it work.
Well, make or break. This is it. Someone needs to pop off for Epsilon, I feel, at this point. We've seen Brokey do it many times before, but he's going to fall very early on. It looked like going for an aggressive long play. That's what he was trying to do. Unfortunately, he gets denied. This is such an awkward fight right now, and Scream will eventually come out with the P250 to end the craziness. Keto going to feel the burn there. All the kills coming through. Surreal the only one left, and I mean, they're making it easier for him. A team kill comes through, but he's so blind. Has to go inside the smoke. They know that he's in there, and HS with the USP spam will find it in the end. So, unfortunately, Epsilon not quite able to mount that comeback, just slipping up towards the end. And it will be a pretty dominant showing from 14 Elite 14.
Yeah, an awful name, and in some cases, some pretty awful plays as well. But hey, they managed to bring it through. Individually, they were definitely sound, but as a team, we could definitely see some mess. I like the fact that we did see a lot of good utility usage actually coming out from the Epsilon side. I think that they managed to take control a lot of portions of the map. It was just that when it came down to sheer firepower, they couldn't compete with their opposition. Either way, well, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Scriv. That is it for tonight. We will be back again tomorrow for some more ESCA MDL.